one.
Okay, this is a good one. This is a good one. Cammie's pointing out something that's pretty darn obvious, which is what Cammie's good at. Well, what about our press conference that we covered last week?
The press conference we covered last week with Walls.
And Klobuchar and Tina Smith. And
wasn't it the day after the Roe v. Wade?
Yep, that was last week. It feels like that was a month ago, but it's last week.
We found out there's a press conference with Walls and Klobuchar.
And Tina
Smith.
We
went, because Tina Smith was there.
Jan Malcolm was there. Planned Parenthood was there.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of people were there.
And
Peggy Flanagan.
I didn't check the other news channels for it, but I went on Fox 9 and I couldn't find it. I found a press conference, but that's not the one we were at. The one we went to and filmed, I can't find it on Fox 9's page anywhere.
They were all
YouTube. I didn't check channel 4 or 5, but on channel 9, I couldn't find it.
All of the regular media that were there were talking about how they were running this live back to their home offices.
Yeah.
So they had live video of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But they didn't show it.
I can't find it on the YouTube or their page at all.
Yeah.
I found a press conference, but it wasn't the one we were at.
Okay, so how come or why would these other media people not show the press conference that we showed live and we got a video of it on my feed?
Unless 4 or 5.
Well, why would they not show it? What happened last week?
I don't know. That's when he had. That's when he told. He mentioned his executive orders 2216.
Yep. So he was talking about using executive powers to do what?
To help people
have abortions in neighboring states.
Correction. To help moms. To help women.
Did he say mothers or did he say birthing people? He said mothers.
Mothers.
I think he did, yeah.
I don't think he said birthing peoples. I rewatched mine.
I have to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, I rewatched it because I wanted the number for the executive order, but
yeah.
It's to help moms get an abortion crossing borders.
Yeah.
So he mentioned South Dakota.
Yeah, executive orders he was talking about and letting people do that. Kind of like this is a sanctuary state.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did the other people, some of which are lawyers there, do almost immediately after the governor said that?
After we watch it.
They were talking about how they were not going to do some of this stuff because that would be illegal. That would be illegal. We're not, even Planned Parenthood was saying they wouldn't do that. Yeah. So was there anything else about why so basically the Waltz was suggesting that they were going to help facilitate abortions in states neighboring, and he mentioned Montana. Why did he mention Montana?
He didn't mention Montana.
He did. Why did he mention Montana?
He mentioned Michigan.
I think it was Montana. I have to go back and watch it again.
Where
was his daughter working as a camp counselor?
In the mountains of
Montana, I believe.
Oh yeah. His daughter is in the mountains of Montana, and is very sad because her rights just got taken away. She does not have the same rights as a mom and a grandma.
Yep. So that
along with Lieutenant Peggy Flanagan, her 9-year-old daughter is upset. But why would you be upset at age 9? I mean.
Yeah. The 9-year-old shouldn't be getting pregnant.
Because I believe she was saying how her daughter was.
The fact of the matter is, 9-year-olds do get pregnant sometimes. It's very unfortunate.
She was saying how her daughter was upset because women can't have the rights to do whatever they want with their unborn babies.
No, I think they actually did use the word babies. Did they? Did they use the word? We should watch it again.
Watch it again.
Did they use because babies is a buzzword that acknowledges that they're really people.
I know, right? But
Yeah.
she was saying
They want to refer to this as fetuses and tissue.
she was saying
Because
her
if you start
daughter,
talking about babies, then you're conveying rights. And these are people that are unborn that don't have rights because they're not born yet. And if they start referring to these as babies and stuff,
yeah,
and normally to Derek, for example, we got Derek to acknowledge that was amazing. We got Derek to
Yeah.
acknowledge that the 16-week-old fetus was a human.
yeah.
Derek. He even referred to it as a baby.
But Peggy's daughter, she was saying, was upset, and she's only 9 because she was saying, well, how mommies have to, keep their unborn babies.
Yeah. So that was the main point was there was also another thing about the waltzes.
But why would a 9-year-old little girl be upset that a mom has to keep her baby? You think a 9-year-old girl would be happy because this?
You know, a 9-year-old isn't physically necessary. She might be able to produce eggs and stuff and fertile and all that stuff, but a 9-year-old,
You would think
a 9-year-old delivering a baby would be pretty traumatic.
But you would think all kids would not want unborn babies to be aborted. You think all kids would be happy if a mommy got pregnant, and was
Yeah.
having a baby. Why would a kid say, "Oh, you should abort it"? Why would I guess I don't see any.
Yeah, 9-year-old's pretty darn young, so they haven't physically hips and stuff. There's a lot of things that they haven't gotten big enough.
Yeah.
Potentially, potentially it would be fatal unless there was a C-section.
But I just don't know any kid that would be happy that if a mom was going to kill an unborn baby.
Anyway, so point number 1 was Waltz was talking about sketchy stuff. That's probably why the media didn't cover it. Second thing, was there any issue with Waltz and his wife that we noticed, that everybody noticed that they didn't show? What was the issue?
They were both very upset. They looked like they were going to cry.
They were both very upset, looked like they were going to cry.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, they were like they were going to start crying.
It made you want to hand them a tissue. They looked like they were going to cry.
Also looked like Waltz was mad. But they were very upset. Their eyes were kind of red.
His was glossy.
Yep.
His was glossy.
Yep. So they look like, the regular media has got those high quality cameras. The video is better with their video than ours.
Yeah.
They don't want to show it. So the Waltz, the governor and his wife looked visibly upset. Of course, he's talking about sketchy stuff, basically illegal stuff.
Well, yeah,
And Klobuchar is a lawyer, and some of these other ones from Planned Parenthood are smart enough to know better than to say that kind of stuff on a video.
Yeah.
And so they roll it back too. So the director of Planned Parenthood rolled back the Waltz's comments and said that they're not going to engage in illegal activity. But Waltz and his wife Gwen were quite upset.
Yeah.
Quite upset.
Yeah.
And they were saying stuff on video that is sketchy. And this is the kind of stuff that could get them in trouble. And so the news media is not showing it. But it's on our video. You can watch it. So, right?
Yeah, it's in our video. They were very, very, very upset because their daughter's rights just got taken. Well, how about the unborn babies' rights? Don't unborn babies have rights? They didn't ask to be conceived.
So Governor Waltz was saying illegal stuff.
It's all about women's rights, if you ask me.
Because he was upset about the Roe v. Wade stuff.
If you ask me.
He's talking about illegal stuff so that the lawyers and stuff have to roll it back.
If you ask me.
Was there any other stuff that was important from the press conference last week?
I have to rewatch the tape.
It's only 34 minutes and 20-some seconds.
know, right?
It's not that long.
But there was a lot that was going on.
Yep, I have a transcript of it and everything. The transcript's on the YouTube.
But a lot. They were saying a lot. Even Peggy was saying a lot. I mean, a lot was said, and none of them were happy. All of them looked like they were going to cry.
No, I didn't see that Tina Smith or Klobuchar looked like they were going to cry. Or even Peggy Flanagan.
Kinda.
It
was sad.
Well, Tina Smith used to work at Planned Parenthood. She's about as cold-blooded as they come.
Yeah.
Klobuchar is a lawyer, so.
Waltz and Mrs. Waltz, they were going to
Oh,
cry.
God. Their faces were all red, and Waltz and Gwen looked like they were going to cry.
Yeah.
So the other ones.
I just don't understand that. How can they be happy if their daughter gets pregnant? Why would you want to terminate your grandchild? That's your grandchild. Why would you want? I don't know.
It's sad. Now,
It's sad.
there was another observation that I made, just similar to those. Remember those three ladies who said they were going to fight against Brooklyn Center because they're Democrats? Remember those ladies?
Oh.
Those three
Yeah.
DFL leadership from the House.
Yeah.
That,
Elise. What?
well, let's not talk about names, but anyway, I got them on recording, but they even went so far as to say their name. The one lady said her name, but
Yeah.
but anyway, they were foolish because I turned my recorder off, but they didn't realize I was still recording. But anyway, and then we had that senator come by and talk to us, and she did a little bitty video, kind of like damage control, and she was kind of grumpy, but she knew that her colleagues in the House, the three little white ladies, there were three little white ladies with their blonde hair who found out that I was from Brooklyn Center and said that we're Democrats and we're going to work against you. And they were very clear on that because I was from Brooklyn Center. And that's the classic problem. Brooklyn Center is the highest minority district.
Yeah.
Probably still. I don't know, the last couple of times it was the highest minority by percentage of people of color of various types. And highest minority. And we got these three little blonde, Aryan practically little girls, ladies, who are Minnesota House leadership. All three of them come up as leadership in the Minnesota House. They're not even just regular members. They're leadership. And they said, we're Democrats and we're going to work against you because you're from Brooklyn Center. Now, a big point to that was they weren't saying that we're Democrats and we're going to work against you because you're a Republican. That's not what they said.
No.
That's not what they said. What they said is, we're Democrats and you're from Brooklyn Center. We're going to work against you because you're from Brooklyn Center. This is classic, and this is the Aryan type white supremacy kind of stuff.
You never said what side you're on. You just
no, I never told them anything.
No, you just said you were running.
Yeah. Oh, you're from Brooklyn Center. We're Democrats. We're gonna work against you. And they were. I'm not sure if that senator lady actually saw them do that or not. I don't remember if she was in the room or not. But anyway, so three of these high-ranking Democrats were acknowledging that they basically work against the residents of Brooklyn Center.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not running against any of those three, and I'm not sure who's running against those three. They're all three in probably pretty safe districts.
Yeah.
But they're all these little blonde girls. I'm not sure if they're blue-eyed or not, but anyway, they're classic. And if anybody on my side said that kind of stuff, what would they say? If anybody on my side said any of the stuff that these blonde little girls said, racist, white supremacist, 100%. And these are the comments that are coming out of their mouths, acknowledging that they work against the residents of Brooklyn Center, which is the highest minority district. It's the people with the lowest average income. It's the people with the lowest property values, and it's the people with the highest effective tax rates. So they're the most abused population, and the Democrats work against them. And all they want to do is keep concentrating poverty, and they keep wanting to try to drive the values of housing and stuff like that. They keep wanting to promote affordable housing in Brooklyn Center and concentrating things in Brooklyn Center. When they don't want to, where do they not want to put affordable housing? If you were living in affordable housing, where would you want to live?
Someplace nice.
Yeah. Would you want to live in some place that has a good school district?
Yeah.
Would you want to live in, I don't want to trash on Brooklyn Center School District. Brooklyn Center School District really needs help. But would you choose to live in Brooklyn Center School District if you had kids versus living in, let's say, Wayzata School District?
I want a decent neighborhood. I want a nice neighborhood.
Yep. So you want a nice neighborhood. You want a nice school district for your kids, right?
Yeah, and they're putting these lower income houses in bad neighborhoods.
Yeah, they're putting them in bad neighborhoods. They're putting them in places that are dangerous.
Yeah.
And why would they be building affordable housing and concentrating poverty in bad neighborhoods? Why don't they put them in neighborhoods that
Good
are
question.
nicer, so that people could choose
Good question.
to live and bring their kids to a place that they're not going to get shot, and to a place where they can go to a good school and they have better choices and better opportunities and stuff. Because there's no reason.
Good question.
There's no, well, heck, they have these districts where they try to bus people across schools and across district lines so they can go to these other schools. Why are the Democrats try to create projects? Why, literally like those three ladies? Why are they working against the residents of Brooklyn Center and Brooklyn Park south of 85th Avenue?
The point is to unite and work as a team and better your neighborhood, not work against your neighborhood. That defeats the point. You're supposed to work with your neighborhood.
So you want to do a video of me for a second? So my point is that, and we're getting wet out here a little bit.
Oh, we're getting wet.
But we don't go home just because it's wet, you know.
Yeah, I got a raincoat.
But my point is the Democrats are the party that doesn't look out for the regular guy, especially doesn't look out for poor people, people like the people who live in Brooklyn Center, and really Minneapolis or anywhere. They all they do is want to control people, you know, and like building boondoggles like the light rail that nobody rides, and they want to, and they don't really understand the idea that regular people in places like Brooklyn Center are having a hard time, you know, and struggling, and they would, most people in Brooklyn Center would prefer to have good schools for their kids to go to. They'd prefer to have safe neighborhoods. You know, a lot of these incidents, you know, that have involved police shootings and stuff, have been literally in my district, where I'm from, where my district. I think there was 4 of them that were from my district, and this is you know, this is important. You know, that people and the Democrats, they don't care. They don't recognize. They don't acknowledge these issues, and they don't do anything to try to fix it. They don't try to get opportunities for people that are, you know, living in situations like that. They don't work on getting opportunities for them to go to good schools, you know, or better schools. Maybe not, you know, ideally sending them to Breck or whatever, but you know, people should be able to go to good schools. If you're a smart kid, you should be able to go to, and you shouldn't have to necessarily have really exceptionally good parents who drive you to the school, or that fill out all those applications for you and stuff. I know sometimes you kind of are dealt the cards that you're dealt, you know, and your parents might choose not to live in those places, but most of the time they choose not to live in those places because it's more expensive, right? And so quite often they can't afford it, and you know, there just isn't any way for them to live in Wayzata, let's say, for example. But these developments, you know, the Met Council developments and all these developments that are focused on concentrating poverty and working against, like these 3 ladies, working against the residents of people like Brooklyn Center, and basically controlling them. I've got quotes of a lot of these Democrats saying basically that they don't believe that people can take care of themselves and can make good decisions, and their position was, well, what else are we going to do with them, you know? And that's a very low attitude, right? Very, very low opinion of people. People, if they're given opportunities and given chances and given, you know, good, safe environments and education and all these kinds of things, people can rise up and they can be successful. And you look at the people in Brooklyn Center and Brooklyn Park, about how much they can really become very successful given the chance and being kept out of the meat grinder, essentially, of gang crimes and all that stuff. So we got to be fighting for, you know, our people, and not be just fighting for this you know, DFL power and having these politicians that get elected in these districts like Brooklyn Center, who are basically just rubber stamps. Just rubber stamps. They might be friendly rubber stamps, but they're rubber stamps. They just vote party line. They never fight for the local residents in our district. You know, they never fight for our own people, making sure that our people get the police protection that they need, and fighting to make sure that their tax rates aren't crazy high, fighting to help establish some property values, fighting to make sure that they get good schools to go to, you know, and their kids are safe, and other things like, you know, having a nice community center, and, you know, good roads and bridges and stuff like that, all that kind of stuff. And also jobs, being able to get, you know, good jobs and things like that for their people that live there. But, you know, these are things that they're not fighting for. They're not fighting for any of this stuff. They always kind of try to claim that they're doing that stuff, but they're not. They're in their position, and they're just laughing about it. And they're laughing about it when you're running a video. Basically that, you know, we work against them because we're Democrats. And that's super sad. So, and also this idea of what we were talking about earlier with Waltz, you know, using executive powers to do criminal stuff that even Planned Parenthood would acknowledge is illegal. That's pretty sketchy. So, it's pretty sketchy. So, and what are we doing out here?
Sitting in the rain.
No, we're catching stuff. We're out there running videos of stuff.
We are sitting in the rain right now.
Yeah, we're catching stuff, and not necessarily popular sometimes, but we catch a lot of things that a lot of the regular people don't want to talk about. So.
All right, bye.
Yep.